Here today, we have a small crowd, but that's good. It should be a short meeting tonight. As always, we will start tonight off with a prayer, and I've asked Cisco to lead us in prayer.
Bow your heads, let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this day and for the beautiful weather that you bless us with. We thank you for this town, the municipality, Lord, that you keep your hands upon. We pray for our employees and for our citizens and for our growth that's coming before the board. I pray that you give us discernment and guidance, Lord, to make the decisions that would be pleasing to you. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Sean, we have 5 items on the agenda. Is there any changes that we need to make?
No changes.
There seems to be no changes to the agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as written? So moved by Ms. Wheeler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Barnfield. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the July 6th meeting? Are there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes? Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the minutes as written? So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Now is the time for our public forum that we have each month. We invite the public, those in attendance who want to address the board. They can come down front, and if you do, if you'd state your name and sign the list on the podium, and if you would state your business within 3 minutes, we would appreciate that. Is there anyone here tonight that wishes to address the board? Nobody seems to be interested in doing that. Do I have a motion to close the public forum? So moved by Mr. Gilmore. A second.
Second.
Who's that? Second by Mayor Tennant. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We're now ready for item number 4. Meridian Capital Group, Dry Creek Cottages requests a letter of credit 1-year extension. Is there anybody here to represent this item? Sean?
Thank you, Chair. So this request for a letter extension or letter of credit extension, current performance bond in the amount of $235,000 expires August 26th of 2026. Construction on this project has lapsed. If you all are familiar, I think it's been around for a while. Includes 16 cottage-style residential units. And I think part of the stalling is if this were to move forward, you have to comply with new stormwater regulations. So we're in the process of, we have received some of those updated figures to review. But this relates specifically to the letter of credit extension. The motions that we have, one would be approval of a 1-year bond extension, increasing that amount by the 2% increase to account for inflation to $239,700. Motion 2 would be approval of a 1-year extension at the amount determined by the Planning Commission, or a denial of a 1-year bond extension. And staff is recommending motion 1.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Sean?
Just one. Do we know how much longer they have before they have to get started, or the approval, I guess, becomes void?
That is a good question, because I think this dates back to 2017.
I guess in the scheme of life, it really doesn't have anything to do with this bond. Having the bond doesn't give them additional time necessarily. It just keeps the
Right.
bond in place, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, and I think that they've been here with different proposals
Yep.
that have been turned down, and so it seems like there's still movement towards moving forward.
It's a very difficult site.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Staff has recommended to approve a one-year extension bond and a 2% increase to $239,700. So I'm looking for a motion. We can approve that as staff recommended. We can change the dollar amount, or we could deny it. Do I have a motion?
If staff recommendation is to go forward with it, I'll make a motion to,
We have a motion by Mayor Tenen to go with the staff recommendation of a 2% increase to $239,700. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Parnell. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor of a 2% increase for 1 year, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We now have item number 5, Rose Hill Park, request final subdivision plat for 3 residential lots and roadway construction on 2.87 acres at the end of Rose Hill Drive. And you're here to represent this property? And could you state your name, please?
Brian McCain, I'm the surveyor of record.
Okay. We'll let Sean go first, and we'll come back to you, okay?
Thank you. So Rose Hill Park, you're probably familiar at the March meeting, the Planning Commission approved the preliminary subdivision plat and the construction plans for these 3 lots, 6 units on the 3 residential lots. It's about 2.87 acres. The in addition to the lots in the right-of-way dedication, there'd also be common open space on the backside. And staff has reviewed the plat. There are a couple of outstanding items that we've identified under the staff stipulations that we would need to see and approve before we could sign the plat. I'll just run through those real quick of just obtaining approval from Madison Suburban Utility District on the proposed water infrastructure, water lines and fire hydrants, identifying and labeling the proposed bioretention pond, providing documentation confirming that all necessary easements are in place to connect to city sewer, and post a performance bond in the amount of $243,540 to guarantee the completion of the required roadway and sewer infrastructure associated with the project. And then lastly, related to the common open space, to prepare and submit a declaration of covenants and restrictions establishing the ownership and maintenance obligations for the common open space for review and approval by the city. So the 3 motions that we have for you to consider would be: 1, to approve the subdivision plat with staff stipulations based on the plat meeting the city's requirements, denying the subdivision plat based on the plat not meeting the city's requirements, and then deferring the request for the applicant to provide additional information. I think we don't really have a staff recommendation. I think it's really what, if the items on the staff stipulations you would like to see before you approve it, I think would be up to you for your consideration. Otherwise, if we were to approve it, these are just things that we would have to review as staff and make sure that they're in place before we sign it. So I think it's up to you, just how you want to proceed.
Okay. You have anything to add to this?
Yeah, I think items 1 through 3 have already been addressed. We had to clean up, do some good housekeeping with Madison Suburban as far as the water and stuff. So I think 1 through 3 we've got taken care of. Number 4, the owner's been in contact with the engineer, and I think they've pretty much gotten that taken care of too. And then number 5, he's working with his attorney to make sure all the HOA documents and stuff like that are done correctly. That is well underway too. So I think all of those 5 items are minor. We'd like to ask for a conditional approval for those 5 items.
How long will it take you to get all this done?
The only thing that may take time would be the HOA docs. What do you think, another week or 2?
I was expecting to have those documents today. It should be any minute, any day. We're ready.
Okay, thank you.
And 1 through 3 are just pencil whipping routines on the plat, so we've got those taken care of. It's just the legality with 4 and 5, and I think he's taking care of it with the engineer, city engineer.
Okay. Anything further?
No, sir.
All right, I'll turn this over to the board for any questions to Sean or to this gentleman here.
Just one question, and either one of you can answer, actually. Are there any changes from what we've seen and approved previously?
The only thing that would be shown on there that would be something that would catch your eye that you would know without looking very hard would be the bioretention. All the water line and things like that will stay the same, with the exception of placing the fire hydrant on there. It's all the same.
Okay, so the bioretention facility is just kind of being, I guess, adjusted to fit well enough in whatever space you've got?
Yeah, I think originally they were going to do 3 lots with no open space, and then we changed it to have an open space for everybody to enjoy within that development. So kind of had to sack our bats and try again to get that bioretention and everything in there. So right now it's going to be those lots, and then they can enjoy the remainder of that area down low that's got the watershed through there and everything. And leave that in its natural state.
Okay. You agree that at least the lot, I don't see really any change here, so I don't, at least my initial reaction is I don't see any reason to hold this up.
Yeah, and I think making things consistent with what we've seen prior, that was kind of one thing that was a little bit different on the bioretention. Wanted to see it clearly delineated on the plat as well.
Okay. That's all I have.
Any other questions or comments?
I just one, Mr. Chairman. I think it was discussed in the past about it being gated, but I think that was changed last meeting. Is that correct?
Right. So we've got fire trucks and ambulances and garbage trucks that come to the end of Rose Hill Drive. It's going to be best for the residents, like y'all proposed, really, to have that public and open instead of private and having a big gate on it. And it's from the residents I've talked to that they're really excited about that. So it's open.
Okay. I just knew there was a question last time about that. So.
Yes, sir. We're good.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
on your retention pond, where will it feed off to? Where will it drain? I see a property right next door. Is it going to drain onto that property, or is there something?
Draining to the creek. They're draining to the creek. Be just a holding area for those slowly out into the creek instead of a flash situation.
Any other questions, comments? Sean, you have no problems with the staff stipulations and approving them after you get them?
Yeah, I think that will, I think we approved the past plans with a couple of stipulations, and we worked through those in order to issue the land disturbance permit with them, and so kind of the same process here. We'll work through these if you grant approval tonight.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion. Of course, we can approve as stated with the staff stipulations listed, or we could deny, or we could defer.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve with the staff stipulations.
Mr. Parnell moves for approval with staff stipulations 1 through 5. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm going to give it to Cisco. Second to Cisco. You'll get the next one. Any further comments?
Mr. Chairman, I would just say to the applicant, I know we've talked about this for a while now, so I think the community's eager to see some construction beginning, so I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be a nice development.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second for approval. If there's no other further comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing the finished product.
Thanks, sir. Ma'am.
The last thing on the agenda is a discussion item. Sean, I'll turn that over to you.
Yeah, we've got two discussion items. The first one it relates to Cedarside at Dry Creek. A number of you are familiar with the approved master plan for Cedarside at Dry Creek, which was approved in 2022. That included 117 townhomes and approximately 3 acres of commercial property. That phase 2 of that development is complete. That's on the eastern side of this image that you see up there at the intersection of Dry Creek and Dickerson Pike. The commercial pads that you see there, that construction has not yet begun. And there is the Avalon gas station there that was recently completed. There's a couple bays within that area that currently don't have tenants, and then there's a planned construction for a second building with 4 bays that is not yet under construction. And so the developer wanted to get in front of you, given some of the challenges of developing commercial space along this corridor, and propose an alternative concept for the commercial pads within that Cedarside at Dry Creek on those commercial pads, and rather than build commercial, instead build 30 additional townhomes, similar to what has been built so far of those. I believe it's 62 units in that area. And so just wanted to present this alternative concept to you for your consideration. Get your perspective on it. Okay, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't get your name. I filled
Michael
that.
Natelli.
I'm sorry?
Michael Natelli.
Michael, okay, thank you. Do you have any further things to say, Sean?
No, that's it.
All right, do you have any comments to make?
I do. I appreciate it. Good evening, Mayor Tim and Chairman True and fellow planning commissioners. My name is Michael Natelli, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to appear before you to discuss the Cedarside at Dry Creek community that our family company, Natelli Communities, developed. With your indulgence, I'll quickly read through some prepared remarks to try to be concise and minimize time. I understand that you received the packet, and Sean was kind enough to also display the various site plans on the screen. As Sean noted, the Cedarside site plan shows 17 townhomes, and also the Avalon gas station and convenience store, which we did not develop. The original concept for Dry Creek Farms subdivision that started in the early 2000s conceived of a retail component on all of that land, including the Avalon gas station and Cedarside at Dry Creek. A retail center anchored by a grocery store. Fast forward 25 years, and the only retail that has been constructed on that land is the Avalon gas station and convenience store. And if you want to flip to that second slide, as Sean noted, they've only constructed one building, and since that building was completed, 2 bays in that building are empty, and they have not yet begun constructing the other building with 4 bays. And seemingly, they haven't started the second building because they need tenants, first to fill up their first building, and then tenants to fill the second building. Our family company, we've been around for about 40 years, and we've probably built 150 communities over that time. And many of our communities have large retail components, including tenants like the big names, McDonald's, Starbucks, Chipotle, daycare facilities, academies like the Goddard School, and national grocery chains. And none of those retailers have expressed any interest in occupying pads on our site. So, it's unlikely that a lender would finance construction of a retail building without a tenant in place. And, if we chose to move forward in constructing a building, we'd be at a great risk. And the level of risk in doing that often leads to foreclosure, because you start trying to carry this thing that you've developed and, with no income producing, that becomes a big challenge. So given the 25-year history of the site and the lack of retail interest on our site and the Avalon site, I'm asking that you please consider allowing us to construct townhomes on the commercial pads on our site. And a concept plan for that layout is in your packets and on the screen above. In so doing, allowing that 30 townhomes, the compatibility of use on those commercial pads would be consistent with what's around it, given the existing townhomes. And in so doing, that land can be more quickly put to use, generating taxes for the city. And, for your information, as Sean noted, in phase 2 on the east side, right side, all homes have been constructed in phase 2. We actually started in phase 2, and we're working, the home builder, Ryan Homes, is working in phase 1. They probably have close to half of the homes constructed in phase 1. I would guess that they'll be finished spring, summer of next year with constructing all homes in phase 1. Also, jokingly, I just wanted you to know that I didn't bring crutches to try to get a vote of sympathy. At 62 years old, my body doesn't always want to do what my mind tells it, so I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has. Correct. Phase 2 is all the homes are constructed in phase two. So that's built out. About halfway done, half of the homes.
I've been on board since the first team, if I remember correctly, this whole area was commercial, retail, commercial.
Correct.
And then some years ago, we allowed for the construction to leave some of these commercial sites.
That's exactly right.
Seems to me I can see, especially on the commercial pad that's up from Dixon Road, I can see that as a hardship as far as a commercial lot. One right next to Dixon Road, you don't think you can put something there that would be beneficial?
We'd love to find a retail user, and I'm happy to try to work with your economic development team to try to find someone who's interested. However, through our limited network of retailers, the large retail categories whom we've reached out to, they don't have an interest. And sometimes there's a term called agglomeration of use, which is, lots of retail in one spot, so that someone going to a retail, can go to other places while they're out. That won't be the case here. As experienced by the Avalon site, they constructed a building and have 2 empty bays and, plans for another one with 4 bays. And the other thing that we didn't know when we purchased the property was that the seller of that ground to Avalon had put a restriction that there could not be any other convenience store on this property. Not that we would want to choose one, but so far that's the only thing that's worked, on that entire site, and so we wouldn't even be able to do that one. But, we also wouldn't want to our retailer to directly compete with them either. So, we can sit and wait. I can try to, talk to the economic development team from the city and see if, they can conjure up any interest. But, over the 25-year history, it's, we haven't seen this happen, any retail appetite, particularly given the likes of Starbucks, McDonald's, and everything down the street in town. So.
Yeah, I hate to give up give up the commercial side of it. Any other comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman, just one quick question. So of the tenants the staples that you mentioned, that you built and worked with in the past, and you say that they're not interested in that particular property, did they give you any reasons why?
They don't really give reasons, but I'm having to guess as to why, and, it's a bit of an island. There's not much other retail around it. And back to the, when somebody's coming to visit something, they want to be able to go do all their shopping, or whatever at one time, get gas, grab a burger, whatever it is, and there's not much there. So.
And on the Avalon property, do you by any chance know what the square footage price is for leasing? Could that be an issue? I know you didn't build that property, but just during your.
I don't know. There are leasing signs in the windows of the 2 vacant spots, but I've never called to ask because I wouldn't be renting. But we could find out.
I mean, I just kind of echo what the chairman's saying. I hate to lose commercial space to more residential, especially right there on that main thoroughfare. And we do have commercial property coming available, coming south. So maybe just now is not the time to just change it up just for the sake of putting something on the property.
Couple of questions. Are those commercial pads, are those separate lots, actual separate lots?
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
Because the plat for the residential portion in Phase 2 is an individual plat. So plats for each of those parcels could be created.
Okay. So those commercial pads could be sold off and, okay. And do you happen to know how big they are?
You're testing my memory. Josh, I think you said something like 3 acres combined, but I can't remember, but that's, it's on the plan set. I don't know if it's shown in the detail on that sheet, but we can provide you that.
I think we have the 3 acres, and it's not capturing that site across the street of the excess land under the power lines, correct?
Correct. I don't think it's including that, and for what it's worth, I'm not sure what uses could go on that excess land across Dry Creek Road that's under the power lines. I think the original concept plan for Dry Creek Farm subdivision contemplated the daycare facility over there.
Wow. Yeah, probably.
I wouldn't want my kids going there. So all that said, in the grand scheme of things, we don't think there's a lot of utility. Maybe a storage facility could go in there, but if it would be of any benefit to the city, we consider donating that to the city for whatever, a park, dog park, whatever. But I understand this is not, no decision will be made tonight. I just throw that out there as, a possibility. So.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. We've changed our city code since you built the original. So now we're at 75% brick. So we would have to alter that for him to build if we granted this, correct?
It was, what was the percent before, do you recall, or?
Do what now?
You say it's now 75% brick?
Right.
I'm trying to remember.
Because you're probably at 50 at best.
Well, I have to look, because I think there's a lot of brick on those homes. They look pretty good. I don't know if you've seen them, but regardless,
Yeah.
I understand that, if rules and regulations have changed.
Along with that, I will, since I've been on the board, commercial space is premium. So if you're not, you can't find what you would need to put on there, I would say sell and let somebody else, but I'm not inclined to do houses on it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I say one thing? Because I may not be here next month, probably won't be. But over the past decade, this board has preserved the road frontage for commercial through that entire corridor, all the way from the townhomes that are being built, what was Vanco Manor, to the south side of this project to where they're going to build multifamily off the road, but the front was preserved for commercial. Personally and professionally would hate to see a variance from what has been established in that, because it's not, I know it's not in your timeline, but it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when that happens. And this body's work is to plan for the future. And I just wanted to share that with you all this evening.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Well, this isn't a voting thing, but I think you get the gist of how we feel. We want to, I think I speak for everybody, we want to preserve as much commercial property as we can, especially, like Mr. Ellis said, especially on the road frontage on this busy highway.
Understood. And again, I appreciate the consideration and, considering an alternative, but I fully understand the desire to keep commercial close to that main road. So
And
understood.
we've already made a lot of concessions on this track, the way I look at it also.
Understood.
So, anybody want to say anything in addition? Okay, thank you for coming.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think that ends all the agenda items. I got a couple of questions, and then Mr. Ellis wants to say something after that. Then I'll allow any other board members, especially since it's such a short night.
Mr. Chair, I do have one more item.
I'm sorry.
Hopefully this one will be quick, but just wanted to get this in front of you
Okay.
guys as well.
Go ahead.
This one is a zoning map update. Hopefully you all are aware that we've had a zoning map available online for the past 4 or 5 years. This is an image of it, but you can type in an address within the city and it'll zoom in and tell you what zoning district that's in. We've also kind of have the city limits and the overlays, as well as you can change kind of the base map. You can also see kind of which county it's in, Sumner County, Davidson County. So this has served us well, and I think that, it's not only a tool internally for staff to kind of quickly, as we get phone calls about zoning requests, to go to this and type in an address and tell people either they're in the city limits or they're not in the city limits, or what zoning district they're in. So a couple of things is this application system is being retired by the software provider Esri, and then we've also been working on a couple of other pieces of information to make more readily available, and so we've proposed a couple of enhancements in a draft zoning map update that we wanted to get in front of you guys for your review, and hopefully you can have some other suggestions and other things that you would like to see. So I'll do a quick demonstration of this, but I'm going to move over there so I can. Okay. Can see a little bit better this way. So some of the features that we propose, we've got a disclaimer once you come on, just to make sure that this is, if people are going to make some big decisions, that maybe they should also call staff after viewing this information. But very similar layout. A couple of things that we've added. Some enhancements is added some other relevant links, and so oftentimes when we're having conversations about zoning, we're also referring to the comprehensive plan, and so we've added a link up here that you can get straight to the comp plan and view all the information within there. Also, we're usually pointing folks to the zoning ordinance, and so there's a link to that. Design guidelines, a link to that, as well as the subdivision regulations, and so those are all readily available. We've also added some additional layers. Once you click on this on the right, these are some additional data layers that you can turn on or turn off. And so we've got, can barely see, but the zoning districts. And so, if you were just interested in seeing residential property, you could take off some of the other districts and just keep residential districts. If you just wanted to see planned unit developments, you could use that. So it allows you to filter through. We also have kind of a coverage area of our sewer system. And so that's another question we get often associated with property is, hey, is this, a buildable lot? Is it connected to sewer? So we've added that information just so people get a quick reference. We've also added in flood hazard areas, which is another common question that comes up. So really just making stuff kind of more readily available and accessible in one place. Another one that we've added on here too is existing sidewalk network. And then I think just a greenway layer as well from the greenway plan from 2010. So a lot of that information is available. There's a couple of other things that we're still working on, and Julie had a great idea today of adding in kind of the coverage area for other utility districts like Madison Suburban Utility District, White House Utility District, because it can be a little bit difficult to navigate that within our city as well. Once you do select an address or a zoning district, this pop-up window will come up, and that'll tell you not only the zoning district, but you also have a link to the permitted uses, which is a table within our zoning ordinance. So that's a little bit more readily available. A couple things that we're still trying to work on that would be great to have. We've got kind of placeholders for them, would be a summary sheet, which kind of tells you just kind of the basic standards for each of the development or each of the zoning districts. That's another common question we get. And then under plans here, so if we have a master plan or a site plan, having a link to that so that, if you click on a parcel, you can see, a lot of the plans that have gone before you all and been approved. For various reasons, not only for things that are not yet built, but then for things that have been built, and we want to track, the landscape plan to make sure that that still is complying. So there's just a couple of things, and obviously it's a draft that we can build off of, but welcome any suggestions and input that you all have to make it better.
Thank you.
I have a couple of thoughts.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of clients that will find a property that's in the zip code 37072. So it has a Goodlettsville address, but it's in Millersville, or it's in the county, it's not really in the city, or it's really Davidson County under their regulations, development regulations. Is there any way to, I guess, does this encompass all of 37072, or does this encompass just the city limits? What are the outer boundaries of this map?
Yeah, so if you type in an address that's in Millersville, in the address bar on the top left, it will go to Millersville, because it's got all the Davidson parcels and the Sumner parcels. So it'll go to Millersville, and you'll see that that dot is outside the city limits.
Okay.
And so I think we're still going to get a number of those requests, but hopefully this cuts down on the number of them.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. If you go to the Nashville parcel viewer and you click on a site that's in Metro, but it's actually Goodlettsville, it shows the 6ZZZ zoning or something like that instead of actual Metro zoning.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's Goodlettsville, and you got to go to Goodlettsville. But if you don't know that, it's meaningless. And so, yeah, it would be nice if there was some way that those would show up and kind of direct somebody to a different spot, but that's not really our problem to solve. I was just curious if it was there.
Any other thoughts? Appreciate it, Sean. Does that conclude the agenda items, discussion items?
There was one more heads up that I just wanted to give folks. There was a bill passed in the legislature this year Titled the Tennessee Child Care Red Tape Reduction Act. And that had, trying to see if I have my notes here, but really kind of the aim is to, you know, cut down on any unnecessary challenges or obstacles to building child care centers within the state. And so staff will be kind of just looking at that bill to make sure that Goodlettsville doesn't have any, you know, unnecessary burdens. I know that traditionally we've approved daycares through a conditional use, and so that might be something that we'll need to change, but we'll look into it and provide you with any updated amendments to that, to the zoning ordinance.
I have a question. I don't know who could answer it, but I guess my question is, what's happening to all the restaurants in Goodlettsville? We've lost Arby's, Captain D's, of course Shoney's, that was closed down years before they closed it down. Bojangles, now KFC, Crystal. I didn't know if it's a trend or if it's something's going on or what. I've had a lot of people ask me that too.
Well, Mr. True, I think all of them are pretty much being backfilled. Crystal's caught on fire, and they've actually pulled a permit to rebuild. KFC, we've known for 2 years they were going to close thereabouts. I'm not sure what will take its place, but the contract has expired, so we won't have to sit and wait for someone paying for a building to sit empty. I think the property owner is going to be extremely motivated to have someone in there. So there's a lot of transition, and I don't deny it. I can see why people say that, but of all the places you just mentioned, the only one that really came as a surprise was the Bojangles thing, because we had no idea that was occurring. I actually didn't have an idea, I think, until Commissioner Gilmore called and told me all the signs were off of it. So, but the rest, the rest is just evolution of restaurant life, the way I put it.
The only good thing about the Arby's is obviously it's under construction for the Dos Bros restaurant to move in. So.
Right, I saw that, but it's just it's strange, all these, name brand or whatever, kind of.
I think the fast food environment with all the Ozempics and
Yeah.
like that, they're all taking a hit.
Yeah.
The ones that are, like we were talking about, not staffed the way they should or not managed the way they should, the low fruit are the ones that's gonna dry up fast.
Right.
In full transparency, KFC stayed open longer than what we expected based on what we were told 2 years ago.
I guess I'm personally getting tired of fast food myself, so just, anyway, I was just curious on that. And, Mr. Ellis wanted to say something.
Yes, there is. Most of you all are aware, September 30th, I will be retiring from my service to the city of Goodlettsville. Extremely excited about the opportunity that has been presented to me. God has really been good. But I just want to take a minute tonight and thank you all for what you do, because it is a thankless job. You have to make decisions that are going to make people happy, and you're going to make decisions that are going to make people unhappy. You do it with dignity. You handle yourself extremely well. And in today's culture, my greatest concern of the kids are growing up. They don't understand civility and statesmanship. They just see that everything's got to be a fight. And I appreciate how you all handle everything. I will still be here next month, but I'm planning on letting Ms. High, who is taking my place, sit in this seat to kind of get used to it, and I'll be here to answer any questions and correct you if you're wrong. But I appreciate it. I love you all, and I love this community, and thank you all for the opportunity for the last 23 years.
I appreciate you. You've been a good friend to me personally and to this board, and appreciate all you do. And Ms. High, I look forward to working with you, and just to let you know that I called Tim one time because I had a rabid skunk in my yard. And he came with a shovel and a bucket. Can I count on you to do the same thing? Okay, great. So, anyway, well, we look forward to working with you. Is there anything else from the board? If not, this meeting is adjourned.